And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week. Early in the week, President Trump took an increasingly tough stand with the Chinese on the ongoing trade negotiations, announcing a 25% potential tariff on certain Chinese goods. And who was the first to come to his defense and in fact say, "Mr. President, hang tough, you're doing the right thing"? Chuck Schumer. Imagine that. The Chinese trade situation, though, is a precarious balance right now, and it is increasingly important. It was supposed to be done, the deal, back in March. We told you right here on the Best 60 Seconds that wasn't going to happen. Thought it might happen late April, early May. It's now been pushed back from there. But it has to get done because the short-term implications are these. Every one of these tariff announcements brings a skid in the markets. Several hundred points off this week, almost 1,000 over the course of the past 9 days. And we know that countries don't pay tariffs, consumers do, and it's going to have an increasing impact with refrigerators, washing machines, certain goods that are going to be bearing the brunt of the trade thing. Long term, it's in the best interest of both countries to get it done. It would be a tremendous boon to the economy. Some people say 4,000 or 5,000 points uptick in the stock market. That's not the whole economy, but it's certainly an indicator of it. And so we'll look for the possibility of a trade deal announcement very shortly on the horizon. Meanwhile, the Democrats seem to have a tough time dealing with economic success. You know, the markets are booming, unemployment at a 50-year low, wages up faster than they've gone up in the past 20 years, economic growth at better than 3%. And they just don't really know what to say. So they keep chirping about, oh, it doesn't really affect everybody. Joe Biden's out on the campaign trail saying that the tax cuts don't benefit anybody other than the truly rich. Even the Washington Post gave him 4 Pinocchios for that. They keep sputtering about Medicare for all. And this week we saw an actuarial report saying that in 7 years, the main trust fund will be insolvent. That means Medicare for none. Think about it. And so where are they going? They pivot onto Bill Barr this week in the ongoing impeachment process or quasi-impeachment process, whatever you want to call it, because nobody really thinks they're going to try to impeach him. That would be too good for the president. But the House Judiciary Committee, along straight party lines, voted to declare Attorney General Barr in contempt of Congress. Now, who was the last Attorney General to be found in contempt? Eric Holder, remember that? And who was squawking in the hallway as the Democrats walked out in protest over this highly partisan move to find the Attorney General of the United States in contempt? And who was squawking the loudest? Jerry Nadler. Think about that. Here in my home state of Pennsylvania, a leftist state representative, Brian Sims, live-streamed a video of himself harassing a woman and 2 teenage girls who just happened to be praying the rosary outside of an abortion clinic run by Planned Parenthood. It's caused quite a firestorm and is an emerging national story that we're going to want to watch. But here's what's interesting to me. One of my former law school classmates, the dean of the Pennsylvania District Attorneys, a Democrat, by the way, has called for criminal charges to be brought against Representative Sims for his outrageous actions. It's a story to watch. We'll get back to you next week. Finally, it's graduation time for college students across the land, and many students are walking out with very expensive pieces of paper, not necessarily accompanied by jobs, but hopefully they'll get them. But what they're not carrying is a fundamental civics education. A recent study showed that 60% of college graduates right now can't name a single step in the process of getting a constitutional amendment passed. Half of them don't know how long a congressional term is, and 10% think that Judge Judy is on the Supreme Court of the United States. But what was really troubling to me in that survey was that when they were given the phrase, from each according to his ability to each according to his need, and asked to identify the source, over 2/3 said that it either came from the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. It really came from Karl Marx. So now we know why socialism apparently is so attractive to so many millennials. There's a lot of education that needs to be done. So for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.